InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
I have wiped the slates clean today so that we can take phone calls. And that means I will actually attempt to go to your phone calls on a host of topics I'm going to be throwing out. The news is so insane, so over the top. It's very clear what the establishment's trying to do. They're trying to overthrow reality right now. The system is trying to absolutely put out so much propaganda, so much disinformation, so much ridiculous lies that people basically shut down and go into a catatonic state. That is undoubtedly what is being attempted. With Obamacare and a host of other issues, Nancy Pelosi came out, we're going to play the clip coming up later, and last night, and said that the video's up on Infowars.com. Nancy Pelosi came out and said we've got to stop these anti-government people that don't like Obamacare, that they're basically terrorists, and that the Founding Fathers would want Obamacare. Yes, the Founding Fathers would want a foreign consortium of banks that own and control the major insurance companies to lobby to have a private tax passed to transfer money directly to them. That is exactly what the Founding Fathers were fighting against, ladies and gentlemen. And it is otherworldly, the level of baloney that we're facing here. We're going to be breaking that down. Obama says the debate is over. Repealing the law is over. Of course, the law has never been more unpopular. As the repercussions come in, he is on every channel, Sports Center, Ellen DeGeneres, you've seen it, saying everyone loves it. And Ellen says, yes, everyone loves it. It's a total success. These are quotes. Everyone should thank you for giving this to us, Kim Jong-un. She might as well said Kim Jong-un, Adolf Hitler, whatever you want to say. I mean, this is really getting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs level. Of course, 80+% in major polls hate it. Those numbers are growing. Less than 1 million people have really signed up for the idiot care. He's out running around saying 7.1 million. And we've got the quotes where he says the debate is over, kind of like the debate is over on man-made global warming. And they just keep repeating the lie. The moon is made of cheese. The moon is made of cheese. I love you. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you. I mean, this is directly out of Idiocracy. This is just tanks rolling over your body while telling you that they're giving you a back rub. I mean, this is a war on sanity that is going on. By the way, Darren McBreen is probably one of the best short video editors that I've ever seen. I don't mean just working here, and we have a great team. This guy is off the chart. And I can throw out a few ideas to him, like in a 30-second gestalt of, hey, this is all Soylent Green with turning the babies into cosmetics and Pepsi flavoring testing and all the rest of it, and the babies in the incinerators. Take a bunch of clips and put together a promo from Soylent Green. So I kind of halfway direct it in a 30-second gestalt. He came out with a 2-minute video that is off the chart powerful, that we're going to premiere the audio and video of for radio/TV listeners at 33 after this hour. But if you don't ever go over to prisonplanet.tv to watch the nightly news or see the daily radio show, you really should. You got to be a subscriber to see the nightly news. That's how we pay for a lot of stuff around here. We thank the subscribers, but everybody can see the daytime show either at prisonplanet.tv or Infowars.com/news or Infowars.com/show. Infowars.com/show is the best link to take you right to the free video and audio feeds so you can see this. But we're also going to put it up on YouTube in the next few hours. Rob Dew's doing that right now. And we're going to have it up there on Infowars.com for everybody. But this really says it all and assails the culture of death that is Obozo care. But I shouldn't call it Obozo care and make it about Obama. He's just their front man to make it look trendy. That is all coming up straight ahead. Saudi Arabians want anybody that isn't a Muslim basically killed. And, of course, the liberals all celebrate that. They just want to shut down your church. But Saudi Arabians, murder everybody you want, mutilate the women. It's wonderful. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasure at hand.
8.2 magnitude quake hits Chile. Sets 300 prisoners free. Tsunami. Landslides. Residents ordered to evacuate. We'll continue to update that today. Supreme Court say free speech trumps campaign finance limits. I agree with that.
What's your name? Who's your daddy?
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are broadcasting here on Terra Firma.
To show you what you need to live.
Coming up, guys, there's a ladybug in here. Will you go please let it outside? Uber bad luck to hurt a ladybug. Thank you. I'm not kidding, folks. That's not a stunt on air to act like I love insects. Most insects I just smash. All right, we are broadcasting worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, on this Wednesday, 2nd day of April, 2014, global transmission. I am your host, Alex Jones, and again, we will be here for the next 3 hours. I do intend to open the phones up and get your take on the issues that we're going to be throwing out there. First-time callers yet again for the first few rounds of calls that I'll probably go to very quickly at the end of the next hour. I'm not really being sarcastic. I'll try to go to them early this hour because I want to cycle through a bunch of your calls and talk about Planet Hoax that we were discussing yesterday. What are the biggest hoaxes in our society? How do we pull down these hoaxes? Because the bigger the hoax, as Hitler said, the more you can get away with it. The bigger the lie. If the system parrots it, people have cognitive dissonance and don't want to admit they're being lied to, or they're individuals and don't know how to communicate to each other that they're in on being awake to the fact that it's a hoax. The last domino to fall is that the majority of us don't like Obamacare. The majority of us don't like turning our guns in. The majority of us don't like world government. The majority of us don't like the banker bailouts. The majority of us don't like GMO in the food supply. The majority of us don't like tyranny. The majority of us like liberty and justice and freedom. And we have to start communicating with each other. The system wants us watching television all day, not talking to our neighbors, not having softball games, not having barbecues. They want us fighting with each other. They want women believing they're not successful because of men. They want men believing they're not successful because of women. We've got articles up on Infowars.com, and I knew this was coming because this is what they push in the nanny state, that if you laugh at your kids when they do something funny, which is what kids love, that's abuse and they'll be taken. Or that if you drink in front of your children will be taken. In the UK, they're openly announcing if you're basically in UKIP, the fastest growing party, it's like Ron Paul light, basically. They're not even as hardcore. They're more like Rand Paul. We're led by Nigel Farage, a frequent guest on this show. We've had many members of the party on, that they'll come take your kids. The mayor of London has said, take the children of nationalists. That is flaming, dangerous tyranny, folks. If anybody should be investigated, if anybody should be arrested, it's people who say arrest people for free speech. See, because you've got free speech until you call for taking someone else's free speech. Then you're trying to violate somebody's civil rights. Then you're trying to enslave someone. Then you're trying to usurp someone. Then you are a criminal. Get that straight. You got free speech until you try to take somebody's rights. You got free speech until you say go out and kill somebody. That's why people call into this show about the videos of police shooting homeless people and beating homeless people to death, and people get angry and they say, I'm taking names of locals and I'm going to start shooting cops. I don't want to hear that on my show. We're not going to act like some of the bad police departments do. We're going to be the highest standards like George Washington. And if the system wants a civil war and starts one and comes after us, then we're going to win it. But we're not going to commit war crimes if this goes into a civil war. Believe me, they're going to do those and pin them on us. So the last thing we want to do is commit war crimes. We've got the moral high ground, folks. We're going to keep it. The enemy is going to try to take it away from us. I'd rather wake everybody up in the system, on average, who hunger for freedom. Almost everybody hungers for freedom, folks. Almost everybody hungers for justice. They just don't know what justice is because there are criminal systems within the system. And a police officer called in yesterday. He didn't say he was one. I could tell he was. And he said that's the problem, is you've got to differentiate the fraudulent, projected globalist model that is over our republic. Not that our republic was ever perfect, but the idea of it is near perfect and has never been realized, but is the idea that grew into so many of the liberties we have enjoyed. Now there's a counter-revolution against those basic freedoms. And every one of us is a guardian of freedom. Every one of us is being robbed when they try to take our Second Amendment or our First Amendment or our property rights or our parental rights, number one, or our religious rights. And religious freedom is under attack in this country. Parental freedom and family freedom is under attack in this country. Property rights is under mega attack in this country. Free speech is under attack in this country. The right to self-defense is under attack. The right to be a straight male is under attack in this country. The right to be a traditional female is under attack in this country. The system is not trying to bring in tolerance. It's trying to bring in an overwrite of the genetic code of humanity and the rest of the species on this planet in a psychological warfare, technotronic, genetic engineering, revolution system. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain to everybody before I get into Obamacare and all the news where I stand. Because some people will tune in and say he criticizes black leaders, but then says he's against aborting half the black people. And some people send me emails and say, I don't understand the paradox. Why don't you like Obama? And why do you attack the mainline black culture that's sold by Hollywood as an overwrite of not just black culture, but that was the test case, but the entire culture system? Well, I mean, isn't it clear? I'm for justice. I'm against killing 52% of black people before they're born. Does that mean then I like black people from birth being taught I'm an evil devil and that I'm the cause of all the problems and that being white is inherently bad? No, I don't like that. See, I want justice. See, I sit there and I look at each issue and I decide what is justice. And then I think, how would I want to be treated? And I think, what makes my soul feel good? What makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing? What makes my conscience feel good? See, I'm against forcibly injecting every Mexican girl at the age of 11 with Gardasil that will reduce their fertility and will give them autoimmune problems and will sterilize and kill some of them. 2 years ago, they began the forced inoculation of every Mexican girl in Mexico. And people will say, Alex, good. Look, you don't like all the illegals pouring across, taking the jobs, voting to take your guns. Hey, shut up about it. Kill the Mexicans. See, right there, folks. No, I don't like every Mexican radio, TV channel being anti-gun, anti-freedom, anti-gringo, anti-black. Funded by the Ford Foundation to create balkanization and division. I want those people to be prosperous. I want them to live. I want them to discover freedom. I want them to have a future. They're human beings. I mean, at a common sense level, folks, not just at a reap what you sow level or karma level, if you want to use the Eastern example of that, do you think you're going to sit there as a fake, trendy liberal and support the sterilization of the Mexicans? And giving them diabetes and all the other soft kill programs that are going on, and that's not going to blow back on you and your family? You don't have any God-fearing in you to feel the absolute evil in that and the incredible danger? That's the thing about Planned Parenthood and the liberals. The mainline liberals don't even know. But look at the genius of it. You tell Mexicans how much you love them because they support turning guns in, 90+% in the polls I covered yesterday. It was in Reuters. It was in Politico. That's what it is to be Mexican, is to turn guns in and worship government while they shoot every one of your girls up so they won't be able to have babies? What the hell is that? What is wrong with people? I don't need to sit up here and apologize to Mexicans that I'm sick of hearing them buy into the New World Order crud. It's time to break with the New World Order. They want you deader than a hammer. Same thing goes for black people, white people, all of you idiots, all of you morons. It's time to stop playing games. It's time to get down to what's really going on. And we're going to play it at 33 after. Soylent Green, folks, it's made out of people, and it's real, and it's a suicide death cult, and I'm not part of it. I'm not into unplugging grandma. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she's white. I'm not into killing innocent people. I'm not into dumbing people down. I'm not into death. I'm not into lies. I'm not into fraud. I want freedom, and I want it right now. And that's what we're talking about, is what is in your mind, what is in your soul. This system is pure evil. Rand Paul comes out and says, we got to basically open the borders up or the Republican Party has no future. And that's true at the paradigm level of going, if we're friendly, we'll open the borders up to 7 billion people. And we'll let them come here and get welfare and then vote. They're not going to vote for that. They believe that all these people believe that they take the guns, they take the kids, they go along with the system. They ban the homeschooling. That's going to happen because the immigrants are indoctrinated now that the government is their mama, giving them milk. Just like Romulus and Remus, the New World Order wolf, suckling them. Yeah, with poison, with deadly Gardasil shots, on record to sterilize you. On record. Building the abortuaries in all your neighborhoods and then selling the fact that, oh, it's because we're liberal. No, the only way to sell liquid death is to pose and package it as liberal. The globalists are suiciding every country out there. They're suiciding the family. And everything they push is pure evil, period.
Clean water at home, clean water at the office, clean water on the go. The Berkey Guy has a Berkey water filtration model for anywhere you are and one that fits any budget. Thousands of satisfied customers can't be wrong. For free shipping within the U.S., go to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Helping thousands prepare since 2005, goberkey.com.
This is Sharon Hunt. Before using Heart and Body Extract, my energy level was very, very low. I could only walk a few feet and then would have to sit down. I was tired and lethargic. But after taking Heart and Body Extract, my energy level has improved greatly, and I can now walk longer distances without getting tired so fast. Thank you, Heart and Body Extract.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Hi there. My name is Frank Bates. What I'm about to tell you in the next 60 seconds could get me in a lot of trouble. I just created a free video presentation at 123coverup.com that exposes the electricity monopolies and government agencies for what they really are: incompetent, lying crooks that are counting on your ignorance and fear to keep your power bills criminally high. Some have called this a conspiracy. Others have called it a cover-up, and you will be shocked to find out how deep the conspiracy goes. My video at 123coverup.com exposes the truth and shows you the secret of how I beat them and how you can beat them too. Watch the controversial video that thousands of other smart patriots have already seen in the last 3 months. Go to 123coverup.com and discover one weird trick to slash your power bill and protect your home. Go watch my video now at 123coverup.com before they force me to shut it down. Again, that's 123coverup.com.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 as part of your daily routine puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. Terraganix.com.
Listeners of GCN know governments and identity thieves around the world are illegally spying on our digital data. This puts you at risk of financial loss or potential targeting because of your political affiliation or spiritual beliefs. But now there's a new, free, and easy way to protect yourself. Regain your privacy and security now with Unseen. Unseen is a free digital communication service that offers email, chat, audio, and video calling, plus cloud storage. All secured with unparalleled encryption and is hosted in Iceland, where your data is protected by some of the strongest privacy laws in the world. For a limited time, GCN listeners get a 20% discount when upgrading to Unseen's premium service, which offers more storage and even greater security. Plus, get huge discounts when you buy multiple premium accounts. Perfect for your family, Bible study, political action group, or business. This isn't just your average radio ad. This is a call to action. You now have the power at your fingertips to stop Big Brother in his tracks. So why wait? Go to unseennow.com and take action today. That's unseennow.com.
I read the news.
I read the news today, oh boy.
Listen to that angel's voice.
About a lucky man who made the grade.
A crowd of people.
And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh. I saw the photograph. He blew his mind out in a car.
noticed that the lights had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before. Nobody was really sure if he was from the House of Lords.
Coming up, your phone calls. I'll get the number out in the next segment. The English Army.
The English Army had just won the war. A crowd of people turned away, but I just had to look, having read the book.
All right, let's get into Obamacare. Just finishing up with all the racial and religious and other forms of division that the globalists employ. It doesn't mean that there aren't real issues in there and real beefs and real vendettas on all different sides and different perspectives. But what I'm saying is the globalists are like an alien species from deep space. I'm not saying literally, but using the allegory, who are here to overwrite everything with a computer robot takeover, in their own words, to replace humans. Human life has always been cheap since the time of the pharaohs and Babylon. Now it's garbage to be carried out and thrown away at the curb, and we're being taught collectively to get into this and to see survival of the species as death. That doesn't mean there aren't problems in our civilization. It doesn't mean there isn't overpopulation in some areas. It doesn't mean there aren't some dirty technologies. It doesn't mean that we don't need to work together globally to fix these problems. The issue is the globalists running it are super bad people who even target the smartest and most virtuous to control them because they want death and destruction. They're not trying to save the planet. They believe they're going to become God and merge with the machines in their own words. Look it up. I'd say this 15 years ago. People thought it was crazy. Now it's all over the news. It's in every movie. You see it on CNN telling you how great it is. Oh, your kids are all going to have brain chips. Oh, the military's getting them. See how it's all just being announced. And then the system uses political correctness to go turn your guns in or you're racist. Support Obamacare or you're racist. And I will not sit here and apologize when somebody comes up to me on the street and says, you know, I like your show, but I heard you're racist. It's usually white yuppies that do it. Or a Hispanic person walks over and goes, I really like your show, but this doesn't happen very often, but it happens sometimes. You know, and I'm pro-Second Amendment, but, you know, are you against Hispanics because you don't want amnesty? And I'm like, can I have amnesty down to Mexico? Can I go down there and have everything free? The system's corrupt. Why does it want it? Why does both parties want it? Because it's game over, folks, when the globalists get enough people in here who will vote to take the liberties away. Because we're now a democracy, not a republic. They brought us into a democracy where people believe that what the public votes for, you get. If they vote to bring slavery back, slavery comes back in. No, that in the republic, that's illegal. You go, well, then why was it legal? Because they never fully realized it. They almost outlawed it in 1798. Did you know that? Did you know Thomas Jefferson tried to do that when he was president as well? While it was being outlawed around the rest of the world, it wasn't outlawed until the 1880s in some areas of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, white slaves. But see, that's never taught in schools because then people wouldn't have a inferiority complex that, oh, the only slaves are black and the only people that have ever, you know, people are like, what are you trying to do, cover up the plight of black people? As if a black person's whole future and identity was that some of their ancestors were oppressed when everybody's ancestors were oppressed. Sure, that's part of your strength that you now survive and you're here. That's part of your will. That's not some weak thing. But your identity goes forward, and it's certainly not the New World Order with its new slavery coming in. It's total slavery over the human species and over the human processes. That is the real enemy. That is the total enslavement, the theft of the will, the theft of the spirit, the trafficking in men's souls that Revelations talks about. That's the big threat, and that's what we should come together around. If the globalists are for gun control, we're against it. If they're for open borders, we're against it. If they're for world government, we're against it because they're the authors of it. And everything they do is done to undermine and enslave. They tell America, don't be nationalistic, accept world government. They tell England the same thing. They tell Germany the same thing. As they flood all those countries with people politically, who vote to totally enslave the nation. Do you understand that?
We're on the march.
We really have something special coming up.
Run.
The Soylent
Alex
Green
Jones
piece.
And the GCN Radio
At the start
Network.
of the next segment, you want to record this. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. Aborted babies incinerated to heat UK hospitals. Soylent Green, ladies and gentlemen, is made out of people.
But now children are literally being passed through the furnace in order to fuel hospitals in the UK. They're being sacrificed on the altar of efficiency and prosperity.
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
The powdered flesh from dead babies. Some people believe they can cure disease.
Because of its enormous popularity, Soylent Green is in short supply. Remember, Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. You must evacuate the area. Today is Tuesday!
The federal court ruled that the shareholders of PepsiCo, big Bilderberg Group company, are not allowed to know what they're using the baby parts for in the flavoring, but we already know. So enjoy the flavor.
We're going to get the real solution, which is going to be a combination of death panels and sales taxes.
I'm consistently pro-death. I'm for assisted suicide. I'm for regular suicide. I'm for whatever gets the freeway moving.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion.
They told me to say that they were sorry, but that you had become unreliable.
Is this the kind of society that you want to live in? Any kind of society that would do this to its children will do it to its senior citizens. It will do it to its dissidents. That kind of society will also eventually turn on its police, on its army, on its prison guards, on the quislings and the collaborators who make that possible. This is nothing but a suicide cult.
The scoops are on their way. The scoops are on their way. I repeat, the scoops are on their way.
You will find out why Soylent Green means life. You will find out why Soylent Green means death.
We gotta stop them!
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
Soylent Green is people!
Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them.
You've got to tell them. You've got to tell them out there. Very powerful piece. It'll be going up on Infowars.com in the next 20 minutes. We'll also tweet it at Real Alex Jones and post it top of the page, Facebook. Great job, Darren McBreen, putting that piece together. And it says it all. And when I come in and see a piece like that he did in the last 3 or 4 days that I collaborated with him on, and it just absolutely is like winning the Super Bowl for me, because I just dream of trying to illustrate to people how much trouble we're in, because we can then fix it. You got to tell them. Soon they'll be breeding us like cattle. Soylent Green, it's made out of people. The New World Order is made out of people. It's making us ugly. It's making culture bad. So we will accept being killed. It's a very dark, wicked logic the globalists have, but they have to dehumanize us first and have us accept them killing us and believe we're ugly and believe we're bad and believe we're crud before they can do it. The vampire has to get permission to come in. It needs you to invite it in. It needs you to give it succor. It needs you to give it truck. It needs you to give it countenance, table, to be aided, to be abetted. And America has let it in, haven't we? Were we not the castle on the hill? Great evil abided here, but also a great spirit of exploration, a great spirit of building, a great spirit of liberty, a great spirit of renaissance. And where the flower of liberty is, there is the Spirit of God. The enemy will have its battle here in North America. The fight for the future of the planet is taking place here now. The rest of the world's incredibly important. But the elite see the United States as the new Atlantis. They believe the future is set. The destiny of what we do, it's so important. We don't just fight for our republic. We don't just fight for our children. We don't just fight for ourselves. We fight against a spirit of anti-human garbage. I don't want to be part of that spirit. I don't want to see others as something that's making me weak. I want to see others as something that are built up to make me stronger. It's the feeling of honor, the feeling of kinship, the feeling of everything our ancestors did before us. The establishment is attacking the human genome on record to destroy the encoded race memories, the epigenetics that are 100% documented from every angle. They are attempting to savage the incredible honor that is the human species, the incredible struggle and the survival and everything we carry with us. We are our ancestors. I do not believe in reincarnation in the classical Hindu or Buddhist sense. I believe in the scientific fact, but what I've also physically experienced, that I am one man set and destined to live but once. But I am the genetic code of all of my ancestors, and their experiences and their key memories crystallized physically in that 98% of the DNA that the scientists told us was garbage. They now know It is encoded memories and genetics carrying the emergency lifeboats of our species into the future, into space. And that's what I want, is a victory for the species. A victory. The churches keep this secret from you. That is their job. The preachers don't know, ladies and gentlemen. The eye has not seen, the ear has not heard what God has in store for us. But these preachers, in their limited view, give you some 17th century or 15th century skewed human view of something that can only be experienced and known in the spirit, and integrating that with the mysteries and the science that the eye has not seen, ear has not heard. Imagine someone 2,000 years ago seeing what's going on today. It would be a fantastic vision, unrivaled. It would be John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos. Think about it. Made in the image of the universal creator. That's heavy. And they would say, the establishment, oh, you're crud. Humans are nothing but dumb animals. Yeah, right. That create spaceships and atomic weapons and hydrogen bombs and poetry. You know, I want to play Child Roll to the Dark Tower Came. And if you type that into YouTube, I'll show you the version I want. I want to play it later after I take calls. Let me just show you the version. I keep meaning to play this. And to the Dark Tower Came. It's the military, cultural, chivalry experience of the French. Beowulf is to the Vikings and the English. El Cid to the Spanish. My first thought was he lied in every word. That horny cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie upon mine. And mouth scare able to afford suppression of glee that pursed and score its edge as one more victim gained thereby. That's what people think when they first hear me. The young man starting out on his journey to become a man, to become a knight, sees the old man pointing the way. The old man is him. The old man tells him the challenge of life and tells him the fraud of the common world. And the man tells the truth, but the youth thinks he lies. And he was an old cripple with bloody eyes through the storms of life. To the Dark Tower came, and dauntless lifted the slug horn to his lips and blew. Child Roland to the Dark Tower came. It says everything in that poem. It's a long poem. I'm not going to read the whole thing on air, but I'll play it later if I have time. Dauntless lifted the slug horn to his lips and blew. All right, let me get back to the news here. The whole point is I celebrate life. I celebrate honor. I celebrate being true. And that's why the whole enemy and the whole system does everything they can and edits my voice and does everything to say I am dishonorable. But I will tell you I am as honorable as they come, and still I am dishonorable. And I am ashamed of my dishonor. And I expect to go through the test to prove my honor as my ancestors did and pass on my genetics forward into the future. And it is in the rediscovery of being honorable that we will be fulfilled, and that is our future. If we take our destiny in our hands, instead of letting the establishment tell us our destiny in every dystopic sci-fi film and every cultural weapon formed against us to tell us we are ugly and broken and gone and have no future. That is a giant fraud. Now let's go to the scientific working of the lie in manifest, pure evil that the Democratic Party has now engaged in. I watch other governments, and the only governments I see that lie at this level are the North Koreans. People say, well, why are the lies so over the top and so ridiculous? That is a tool employed in Soviet mind control. I'm not saying this conspiracy is Soviet. Soviet was a technology developed in the West, visited as a plague upon the poor Russians and then their victims after their country was used in the exploitation phase to take down the next domino. But I look at the social engineering and saying, you can keep your doctor. It cuts the price. It covers pre-existing conditions. None of it true. And the victims for 6 months thinking that they've signed up. I told you that most of them had signed up. It turns out it's all a fraud. I told you the website wouldn't work, to make it about the website, not about the law. And to confuse the whole thing and to confound people in a squid's ink, in a fog of war. In a system to confound and confuse, waging war on reality. And now I've never seen anyone lie in a scientific way like this except North Korea. And folks, I'm seeing North Koreans type statements all over TV that everyone loves it, everything is wonderful, everyone loves Obama, he gave us everything. And that we should just cry and beg and thank him all day. This is what Obama supporters look like at his rallies, crying and collapsing and swooning as they spiritually climb into Ted Bundy's yellow Volkswagen. It is so sickening to see this going on. And here is Obama saying it's too late, it's all over, everyone must accept it, everyone loves Obamacare, it's helping people see to shining sea, there's no way to repeal it. The debate is over, because we could easily repeal it. It's incredibly unpopular, upwards of 80% or higher. It's totally criminal. It's totally unfair the way it's apportioned and when the way major corporations are exempt. It's a tax to foreign banks, but they're giving cover to the Republican leadership to not kill it and to go, everybody loves it. It's a giant confidence game. Here is Obama.
But this law is doing what it's supposed to do.
Destroy America.
It's working.
Breaking the country's back.
Helping people from coast to coast.
Go to part-time.
All of which makes the links to which critics have gone to scare people.
Oh, increase payroll tax.
Undermine the law or try to repeal the law without offering any plausible alternatives.
Oh, really?
So hard to understand.
You've offered total alternatives.
I got to admit, I don't get it. Why are folks working so hard for people not to have health insurance?
Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Why are they so mad about the idea of folks having health insurance? Many of the tall tales that have been told about this law have been debunked.
Tall tales.
There are still no death panels.
No, you don't call them those. Oh, it's so funny.
Armageddon has not arrived.
All right. That's enough. And he goes on to talk about people claiming tyranny. We may go back to more of it. It's hard to listen to. Ladies and gentlemen, it raised the payroll tax. It is increasing the prices. It does set up these health boards that decide what type of care to give. And I have Bill Gates, and I played it earlier today. And we have Ezekiel Emanuel saying there's death panels. And we have all the other pundits saying it. Bill Maher. It's in there, and he calls it tall tales. This is the guy telling us that he never said you could keep your doctor. Now, Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to be outdone by Obama, so she had this to say yesterday. They're not going to campaign on it. Oh, no, they're going to move on now to open borders and shutting down more of your jobs. Of course, what does she care? I mean, she's a total narcissistic megalomaniac parasite.
I don't think we needed any vindication. We just had to protect it from those ideological anti-government people who didn't want to see it succeed for ideological or political or whatever their reasons are.
All right.
But the fact is...
Oh, the fact is, let's hear the rest. I'm sorry.
Get something done for people. So taking the heat on something like that, well, that's what we do.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, see, it's targeted at totally dumbed down people. We got to do something for the people. Does that mean throwing them into incinerators? I mean, we got to reform things. If you put a car in a giant car compactor, it's reformed. You could call that progress, but it's not. You call a dead body eaten up by cancer 5 minutes dead, you could call it progress. It's not. Anything could be progress. Progress of cancer. Anything could be reform. They play these word games. You know, this is the process in 50 years, getting government involved in healthcare and ruining the best healthcare in the world. Now people don't know how to get healthcare. It's way overpriced because the corporations are in there screwing everybody. And the same corporations that have screwed everybody wrote Obamacare. What is it you idiot Democrats do not get about that? Okay? And by the way, you moron Republicans, this is not socialism. Straight up socialism would be bad because it allows social engineering, and the globalists are eugenicists. But socialism would be better than this plan. This is the greatest, most over-the-top, ridiculous screw job I could even think of. It is over the top. And his response is, people are telling tall tales. Buddy, everybody who's got a room temperature IQ knows you're the front man telling tall tales. You and that scumbag, Joe Biden. You and that bobblehead con artist up there laughing and giggling all day like he's trying to trick a bunch of little kids. I'm not a little kid, and I see through your lies. I see you, and your soul is dead.
How can you save a ton of money and prepare for emergencies? By having your own in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. Now you can cut down on wasted food by freeze drying your leftovers. That's right. Create your own long-term food storage by freeze drying your own fruits, meats, vegetables, even complete meals with the Harvest Right in-home freeze dryer. Imagine the savings and the peace of mind. See how the amazing Harvest Right freeze dryer works at harvestright.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Did you know Emergency Essentials has a lowest price promise on all of their long-term food storage and emergency supplies this month while supplies last? Save over $250 on the year supply of basics. A year supply of food for only $769.99. Get 36% off the Mountain House Gourmet Entrees Combo, 52% off freeze-dried tomatoes, and 57% off freeze-dried shrimp. Call Emergency Essentials at 800-999-1863 or visit BePrepared.com. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or BePrepared.com.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
So Nancy Pelosi says they've got to do something.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
And so they bring you Obamacare to implode the country and exempt all the insiders, which will shut down your company because you're not exempt. And then when they start coming out with $5,000 fines, they just come out and say it's not true, even though the fines are now starting for small businesses with penalties and interest with the IRS. And so you'll have a year of penalty and interest now next year. And that's in the law. And they hired 17,000 agents to take your bank account. And they're going to do it. No judge, no jury. And if you try to hold up in your house when they take it, they'll send a SWAT team by and they will murder you. How's that sound? And let's say you start shooting at them, they'll burn your house down. How's that? Of course, you know, we got to be nice to the poor, though. We got to take money from people, you know, to give folks free health care, especially all the immigrants, because you're racist if you don't do that. But then when an old lady, I don't care if she's Hispanic, black, white, Asian, you know, doesn't pay all her property taxes and income taxes, they're going to come take her house. They're going to throw her on the street. Or she can go get on welfare, right? Right where they want you, dependent on their system. I want to get your take on the dehumanization, the war on humanity, all of it. And also on some of the positive things that are happening. A lot of good things are happening. People are waking up. Congress has a 6% approval rating. That's just unheard of. I think the devil has a higher approval rating than that. The point is that a lot of good things are happening. I want to hear about some of the positive things you think are happening as well and where you think humanity's going and how we turn this around. 800-259-9231. We're doing first-time callers again. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. And then we're going to get into the latest on NSA, huge issues with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia declares all atheists are terrorists in new law to crack down on political dissidents. They also, you know, say women driving is terrorism. You will not hear one feminist group in the West criticize it because that's not kosher to criticize. A man having a short haircut and holding his wife's hand or opening a door for a woman, that's the big, or saying the word bossy. That's the big problem is men. And women, don't worry, you're going to be empowered. Just break up with your husband, take the kids, go out and have a good time, let your kids have a good time, get them on drugs, 4 times more likely to end up in prison. Great job. You party, baby. You're going to have a good time now. That's the new system. And look what it's doing to society. We're flatlining. And the men are a bunch of Arrested Development idiots as well. You like the curses of the New World Order? Don't worry, they get better. By the way, we are funded by you, not like NPR with taxpayer money or MSNBC with stimulus money. We're funded by you supporting us and spreading the word and supporting our sponsors and buying the great products, the Molon Labe men and women's T-shirts made in America at made-in-1776.com or just InfoWarsStore.com will get you there. And getting all the great health products that we have at InfoWarsLife.com. The Lung Shield, that's just simply amazing. I think it's one of my favorite products. The Survival Shield, proprietary nation iodine, the double strength, 30 parts per million silver bullet, the Super Male Vitality that's just off the chart, the Fluoride Shield, and we've got some big discounts up there, and your purchase makes the broadcast possible. InfoWarsLife.com, 50% off. We're still running that special on Super Male Vitality, which just try it. All we get's rave reviews, folks. It's just natural herbs that block the estrogen mimickers and allow your body to produce the testosterone and things. It's not a fake testosterone like most of the products out there that actually work. They just have side effects. This just gets your glands going naturally, and it's simply incredible. I mean, I still look like hell, but I look a lot better than I used to on it, and it helps fund the operation. So, Super Male Vitality, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. We'll be right back with the second hour. Strap yourselves in.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosates that is found in water supplies worldwide. worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. For a limited time, use the promo code WATER15 and get 15% off on all ProPure systems at InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We're talking about government and globalist hoaxes and how do we bring them down. It's day number 2 of this discussion. Masses of key news and breaking information coming up. But let's go to your phone calls right now. Let's talk to Kelly in Texas. First-time caller, you're on the air.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about music.
Sure, go ahead. We've got open phones, but we're talking about hoaxes and bringing down the New World Order and global awakening. I mean, that's what I kind of threw out, but go ahead and ask your question, brother.
I was wondering if you've ever heard of a band called Lamb of God.
I have heard of Lamb of God.
They are, there's an album that they have called Ashes of the Wake. And they are pro-gun, and they are First Amendment and Second Amendment guys. They're
and isn't some European country persecuting the lead singer?
No, absolutely not. Oh, yes, it is, actually. It was an accident that happened. A guy jumped up on stage, and he scared the guy, and he pushed him, and the guy wound up cracking his head open.
Yeah, and sorry, that's self-defense. Somebody jumps up on stage and rushes you, and you push them, and they fall over and hit their head. I mean, it's regrettable, but under common law, that's self-defense.
Yes, and they went down there, and he was arrested when he got to Czechoslovakia. He was arrested, and actually, the guy that got killed from Pantera, the guy, Dimebag Darrell, that got shot and killed, his brother actually took a special trip down there to Czechoslovakia to speak to the judge, to tell him, that this kind of stuff happens, and they used what they call the Dimebag Darrell defense now, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah, that's the guy that got up and blasted him. No, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. I appreciate your call, brother. Very interesting. See, I know my metal lore. Let's go ahead and talk to Mike in Cleveland. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call, Alex. I started listening to your show about a year and a half ago, and my background is mostly business, but been very politically involved with things in our life. And I could tell you what looking forward. And you talk about like the state of where we are right now. People have no idea, and when you try to explain stuff to people about what goes on within our government, like a lot of people say, "Oh, Alex Jones."
Sure, go ahead. I think somebody called you. Yeah, it's call waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you give people information about it, I almost feel at times like an idiocracy when the soldier is trying to explain to the people the future are so dumbed down. You have to put water on the plants, and they're arguing with him about I was told.
I ain't never seen no plant grow out of no toilet. You mean like water out of the toilet?
Right. People have no idea how many, they talk about, rigging elections and all that. I mean, the deals that are cut, they think the Republicans hate the Democrats and vice versa. It is exactly like WWF.
No, they're a group of criminals at the top trying to extinct any opposition to their total takeover. They're all on power trips thinking they're going to literally live on Elysium officially. This is what all the futurists, all the elites say. They're getting a planetary government to then kill everybody.
And in every level, I mean, there's two things. One, not only the politicians doing everything they can to help, further their own personal agendas and pocketbooks, but the thing is, when you try to battle things locally, and I know this from, being on a school board, the schools are so limited on having any sort of local decision making because basically what I'll give you a perfect example. Just a few weeks ago in the state of Ohio, they wanted to make sure that every school board adhered to this bullying policy, which basically is a gay promotion. And I'm not.
No, I know. It's global, UNESCO standardized. It's like the EU Parliament is elected. It has no power except for a bully pulpit. No, I understand. Go ahead.
If you don't adhere to it, they will not fund you and basically shut you down.
No, I know, and we need to point out these are not really independent school districts and take them back. Great point, sir. We're moving quick. We're getting to your calls. Just did 2 in one little segment. More calls are coming up. 800-259-9231. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
His name?
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse.
It's a military mission in North St. Louis. Heavily armored vehicles are rolling into town.
And don't be alarmed if you see those over the next 7 days rolling through your neighborhood.
If you see military helicopters flying low over Minneapolis, do not be alarmed.
Guns will be taken. No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in.
Just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Enough. 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 Enough.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
And as KSLA News 12 Jeff Farrell discovered, the clergy would help the government with potentially their biggest problem.
us.
So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Mercury-containing vaccines may help, not harm kids, according to 2 new studies in the journal Pediatrics.
Black Hawk choppers soaring through the night sky, but this is only a drill.
Heavily armed officers in Watertown search for the suspect, house to house.
It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military. In your apartment!
I am in my apartment, sir.
Go back inside right now!
I am inside. I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
The dramatic scene played out in front of our cameras. Parents grabbing their children and running after spending the night hunkering in their houses and then finding themselves face to face with the muzzle of a SWAT officer's rifle.
They let them in the area. They told them they could come in, and now they're coming in like they're trespassers, punching and shoving people.
We're not turning our guns in, and we're not running, and we're not backing down. If you want them, come and take them.
We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
This is the heart of 1776.
That's right. We are the heart of 1776. You are the heart of human liberty. And we have to decide which side we're on and what we're going to do. I know many of you have already made that decision and have been battling against the tyrants for years, and we're holding back much of their programs, much of their progress. We're taking your phone calls right now, but I wanted to play one more clip of Nancy Pelosi saying the founding fathers would absolutely support Obamacare.
There are those who are critics, and there have been bumps in the road, but they've only been turbulence. They have not been an obstacle to the American people having a healthier life. But our founders wanted for them life, healthier life, liberty, the freedom to pursue their happiness, not job locked, but having benefits that health care policies that are portable. They could be self-employed, be a photographer, they could start their own business, they could change jobs, they could reach their aspirations. And isn't that a wonderful thing for a society and for an economy? Any questions?
Yep, and that's from the Daily Caller. Grab that clip. So let's give you something free. Let's increase healthcare prices. Let's con the youth into having to go get it. Let's bring in death panels. And remember, Obama came out, I played the clip last hour, and said, quote, the debate is over. Repealing this law is over. Of course, it's more unpopular than ever, upwards of 80% or higher, and falling apart and totally criminal and selectively enforced, discriminatory. Just absolute nightmare. And him and Joe Biden sit around and say there are no death panels. You're right, they don't call them death panels. You're right, there's no chemtrails because that's a parochial countryside term. It's geoengineering. You're right, there's no FEMA camps. That's a hayseed name. A populist name. They're called emergency centers. They're called Emergency Establishment Act, the Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Program, Rex 84, Operation Cable Splicer, Operation Garden Plot, Miami newspapers, AP, Reuters, look it up. They play those lawyer games with you. Oh, this isn't a police state. This is a stability force. This isn't martial law. This is an emergency, a state of emergency. This isn't a checkpoint. It's a safety stop. Playing games. This isn't cultural cancer. This is the new age of big government. It's all a bunch of mind games. All a bunch of fraud in your face. and it's extremely frustrating. Up on Infowars.com. Establishment media sanitizing Ukraine fascist. Another article by Kurt Nimmo on that subject just went live. Special report, women reject banning bossy. Leanne McAdoo went out and asked women if they should ban the word bossy because the snapping turtle, Michelle Obama, says so. Border Patrol terrorizes mom and kids with a knife. I'm going to play the audio and video of that. Meanwhile, the Border Patrol is being attacked, shot, beaten. I mean, the Border Patrol on average has one of the roughest jobs out there. And at the same time, they're only used basically more and more on citizens. That's the only place they're authorized to basically act is write tickets to citizens drinking beer, you know, in places like Big Bend National Park. I witnessed that again last weekend. So, and they don't like it either. And it's a pretty horrible video. But we've also got horrible videos and photos of the Border Patrol being attacked with rocks and having eyes put out, you name it, and being told they're not allowed to fight back, basically. So the political correctness has just gone into overdrive, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Mexico's got Border Patrol. Well, why are they allowed to have? I mean, let me tell you, you try to sneak into Mexico and get caught by the federales, you're going to get beat up, number one. You might get killed. And you're going to get taken to a jail, and you're going to get shaken down, and your family's going to have their credit run. You're going to pay, depending on how much money you got, 10, 20% of your income, or you're not going to leave that facility. Is that racist? No, it's a predatory, kleptocratic country. So our Border Patrol is 100 times better than the Mexican Border Patrol. The Mexican Border Patrol is on record one of the most vicious in the world. Oh, but that doesn't count. It doesn't count. You have U.S. citizens, black, white, Hispanic, you name it, are being murdered all over the border. In fact, since I said it, let's just go to this video. The article, if you want to see it, if you're radio listeners, up on Infowars.com. Paul Joseph Watson, an article on this. Border Patrol terrorizes a mom and kids with knife and taser. And, you know, I've got to say, when I drive through these checkpoints, the one in Alpine, when you go down to Big Bend, beautiful area down there, very romantic. I mean, if I lived in the desert, that's where I'd live, would be down there. Great people. Almost everybody that lives down there is a listener. It was insane. I mean, I'd go in a restaurant, and like everyone was a listener. And then another day I'd go in another restaurant. Everyone was a listener. It was wild. I'd see firefighters with the National Park Service listeners. I'd see I'm not bragging, ooh, I got a lot of listeners. I'm saying Liberty is popular. I ran into most of the park rangers were very nice and were listeners. It was wild. Totally different experience than last time I was down there because I guess they had a marathon and a bike thing going on. So they had a whole bunch of extra federal cops down there that were being total jerks and bugging their eyes out at people and wouldn't say hi to you and were just writing people tickets for drinking beer. And I guess they just were told, you know, keep control of everything. But the point is, totally different experience. Wasn't a bad experience last time. It was just like, man, I'm like in a police state. None of that this time. But this woman, again, speaks English, clear English, blonde-haired, blue eyes. And my point is, can you imagine what they do to Hispanic Americans? And you come and you show them your license, and I've been through there, and it's not enough. They go, pull over here, we're going to search your vehicle. I get out of the thing and start getting mad at them. I go, listen, you're 80 miles off the border. You got all this license plate reading equipment here. You got nuclear spectrometers. You know I don't have a bomb in the car. You got illegal X-ray systems out here that are frying people. You're all going to get cancer. You've seen the videos. I go, leave me alone. Well, this time I pull up, and the guy literally goes, oh, Alex. And I just go. It's pretty funny. So the guy was just like, okay, U.S. citizens, yeah, okay, Alex, just come on. But the whole point is that this is what these things, up to 100 miles in the country are, every coastline and the border. 100 miles, that's most of the population. I think 73%, last time the ACLU did a report on this, live within 100 miles of a border or the coastline. 70+% live on the borders of 100 miles or on coastlines. Think about it, West Coast, East Coast, and the borders. Let's go to this incredible video. Here it is. We'll come back and go to calls.
He told his other guys, this one's being difficult, get the taser. And he opens up my door and he says, ma'am, do I need to tase you to get you out of your vehicle? And I was like, no, you don't need to do that. You're acting ridiculous. Why did you even pull me over? Then he comes up to my seatbelt, pulls out a knife. He says, ma'am, do I need to cut you out of your seatbelt? And I was like, no, you don't need to do anything like that. I was like, all you need to do is tell me why you pulled me over. You know, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, see, they don't talk back to a slave.
In the car. Then he took my keys from my ignition, and I was forced to get out of my vehicle. If I didn't get out of the vehicle, I felt like this man that was threatening to tase me and cut me out of my seatbelt was going to hurt me. I told my kids to stay where they were because they were like, Mommy, what's going on? Where are you going? And I was like, just stay where you are.
The rest of the video is up on Infowars.com. 70+% of the country now lives under martial law with the Border Patrol.
The response has been overwhelming, and for that, we say thank you. Hi, I'm Daniel, one of the founders of New Manna Food Storage. You've let us know how much you love our GMO-free and great-tasting storable food. Now, you can help a veteran enjoy that same great taste. Part of every purchase from New Manna will be donated to help a veteran in need enjoy their next meal.
Buy with confidence. Buy the best. Buy New Manna. Call 877-817-9829 or visit powerprepper.com. New Manna, food storage you'll love to eat.
Every day it becomes more clear our nation is headed towards an uncertain future. Nothing can ensure your family's security like an Atlas survival shelter. The strongest money can buy and designed to be buried up to 42 feet deep with all the comforts of home and all the protection you need. Bulletproof hatches, tamper-resistant air pipes, and a unique ground design that'll withstand a bomb. See them today at iwantthatbunker.com or call 1-855-4BUNKER. Atlas Survival Shelters. Better prepared than scared.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
This is Steve Shank. The St. Patrick's Day earthquake could be the forerunner to the Big One. Still got fires in the west, still got winter in the east. Now the flooding has started in the Midwest with a vengeance. Millions of you have heard me tell you that every expert survivalist knows preparation is his most important skill. When you're surprised by a storm, a quake, a flood, it's too late. What you've got is all you're going to get, and it's usually not enough for 93% of Americans. Here's some help. Please go to fearlessusa.com and download my free emergency survival guide. With each emergency checklist, you'll see the problems you may never have imagined and the solution. Go to fearlessusa.com on the web or call 855-918-3663 for Steve Shank's free emergency survival guide. This is good stuff you absolutely need to know. Go to fearlessusa.com on the web or call 855-918-3663 for your free emergency survival guide.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. So long. Babylon system. children's blood. That's what Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and all people are. Conscious, anti-human technicians. Coming up, David Knight broke this on InfoWars when he was first hired a year and a half ago. David Knight, hard to believe he's been down here almost a year and a half. He's going to be in studio start of the next hour for one segment, then we'll continue with your calls. Going back to those calls right now, by the way. Report, EPA tested deadly pollutants on humans to push Obama administration agenda. That's now breaking. Daily Caller's covering it from C-SPAN, and a government report obtained by the Daily Caller. This is where they didn't tell university students and hospital patients they were pumping in super high-level deadly particles and gases to then skew it and claim it was lower levels and show the health effects to ban wood-burning stoves, you name it. I mean, this is Agenda 21 all the way. This is Nazi stuff. This is stuff that'll kill you. And David Knight was part of the group that infiltrated, got the information in North Carolina exposing this. So he's going to be in studio with us. That's the kind of investigative journalist we hire, folks. Okay, let's go ahead now and go back to, in fact, there's our article from 2012. Is that when I guess that's before we even hired David. That's when he first won a contest. This is crazy. EPA sued over illegal experimentation on human subjects, sued by the group David's part of. We're going to have him in here again in the next start of the next hour. Let's go to your calls right now. Stephen in Georgia, thanks for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
I got a question for you. If you could ask Obama, as a journalist, 5 questions that would bust open the New World Order wide open, what would those questions be?
5 questions of who?
If you could ask 5 questions to Obama, ask Obama 5 questions in an interview, what, to bust the New World Order wide open, what would those questions be?
Boy, we don't screen your calls, so I didn't have time to think about that. That is a whopper of a question. That's a good question to ask. That's a good question to ask callers. What would you ask him?
What would I ask him?
Mm-hmm.
I would ask him why he signed the NDAA and why he's setting up basically a police state.
Yeah, I mean, he has canned answers for everything. So A, I wouldn't get to ask that question. B, I would say to him, if it was on TV, it's more about him being there, the whole world's a stage. I know you're a puppet and an empty man who is totally blackmailed and controlled, and you're selling out humanity, and you are a narcissist, and you are a shame, and you will go down in the history books as a total fraud unless you repent now and turn from your anti-human ways and tell the truth about what's happening. And it is a war crime, what you're doing, trying to push GMO on Africa and Asia, and the forced inoculations, and the polio shots that are sterilizing people in mass. You are a party to mass murder, and how dare you fund al-Qaeda to attack the people of Syria, and how dare you try to overthrow Egypt, turn it over to al-Qaeda, and how dare you commit mass murder in Libya. You are a disgrace and a fraud and an enemy of humanity, and I just see you for the scum you are. Just like I did Piers Morgan. You are a redcoat enemy, you are a usurper, and I declare war on you, and you're on notice. We will not relinquish our firearms. I don't care how many lemmings you've got backing you up. I declare I'm free, and you're an enemy. It's more important to declare them the enemy, not to even ask them questions. We know the truth. You are a usurping enemy, and the declaration of them being an enemy is the end of their fraud.
I would ask him why it's such a hypocrisy that he wanted to go into Syria, and then now they're doing the exact same thing in Ukraine.
Well, I would just tell Obama, I could tell you're a weak slave, scared. I can see you're shook up. The narcissism isn't working anymore. Salvation is in being a man. Salvation is in joining humanity. Salvation is telling the truth like Eisenhower or Kennedy. Come out of evil. Come out of Egypt. Tell the truth.
Exactly. Appreciate it, Alex. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Let's go to Mark in Texas. Go ahead, Mark. We'll probably hold you over, but get to your point.
Peace and love, my brother. Peace and love. I just wanted to let you know that I came across a really great book as a result of an interview on the Catherine Albrecht show. Robert Lewis wrote a book called Raising a Modern Day Knight. It addresses the problem in society about not having an understanding what it is to be a man in this world, and how that's deeply missing in society, and how it's contributing to all the things that we see going on.
I want to hear about that when we come back, because we're going to play Child Roll into the Dark Tower Came straight ahead. Everything is about emasculating men, cutting fathers out of the life, even if they try to be a father. And women are told the victory is in scuttling and beaching your man. That women are told they become fulfilled by destroying their man. The statistics say the opposite.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosates that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. For a limited time, use the promo code WATER15 and get 15% off on all ProPure systems at InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.
To stop tyranny? Well, so does he. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
We're here on the tip of the spear fighting for basic human freedom. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Back weeknights, 7 o'clock Central with Infowars Nightly News. Find details at InfoWarsNews.com. And then, of course, Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m., we have the special InfoWars News for 2 hours, hosted by yours truly or folks like David Knight. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of David Knight, he is coming up at the start of the next hour. Report EPA tested deadly pollutants on humans to push Obama admin agenda. We actually broke that 2 years ago. I was incorrect, not a year and a half ago. It's now in the mainstream news today. By the way, David Knight was part of the group that infiltrated and got the information and sued them. Just so you know, we're proud of his work. That's one of the reasons I hired him. Now, continuing, ladies and gentlemen, we have the new magazine, since the last caller mentioned what's happening to women. They're attacking the whole species, turning us against each other. They are assaulting everything. And they're saying you should just be able to turn your kids over to the state, turn them over to after-school programs. You should be able to party. You know, the state is your husband. Kick your man to the curb. Men have no rights. Men are bad. You'll be empowered as soon as you bring your man down. And the men have been taught to be a bunch of wannabe tough guy thugs and, you know, have their own set of issues. And last month's issue exposed the war on men. This issue of the magazine, at cost, in groups of 10 of up to 100. That's how you don't subscribe. Folks that subscribed, it was very successful, but I decided to end it because it's more cost effective to not make you pay for shipping 12 times. Just buy the issues of the magazine you want in groups of 10 up to 100 and give them to friends and family. Big color, 68-page magazine documenting the chemicals, the biologicals, what they're doing to you. Big color, glossy magazines. It's the equivalent of a book that you can then give friends and family and give women, you know, so they understand, to hopefully deprogram them or wake them up. And women are panicking right now on average. Statistically, higher mental illness levels, higher breakdown in society. You can look that up in mainline psychological publications. Women are not being validated by the system that swore it would validate them. And so there's a collapse level event going on in society, and it's under chemical warfare attack. So this is the new issue of the magazine, available at InfoWarsStore.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. A lifeboat of information in this special edition of the magazine. Modern-day Maryland, the war on women, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. Also, our sponsors make the broadcast possible. The best storable foods company out there, My Patriot Supply, MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex to find the specials. They got a lot of other preparedness items. MyPatriotSupply.com. Great customer service, non-GMO organic. MyPatriotSupply.com or 866-229-0927. Now, continuing here, briefly, because I want to go to Child Roland Dark Tower Came by Browning. But you were making the point, yes, I've read the guy's book, very interesting. Perspective on raising young men to be honorable, to be men. This is what the system's trying to eradicate. And I'm not saying this guy's book is the end-all, be-all compendium on this. It's his perspective on what a knight is, but it's basic chivalry. And chivalry and being honorable is being extincted. Your comment on that, sir?
Yes, in addition to the chivalry approach, he takes a biblical definition of what it means to be a man, and I think that's what's sorely missing. Just if I could, a real man rejects passivity. A real man leads courageously. A real man accepts responsibility. And a real man expects the greater reward. And it's a remarkable way to raise a young boy in this troubled time. So let's use it as another tool against the social destroyers.
Absolutely. God bless you. Now, folks, a very powerful piece of poetry.
Robert Browning. Child Roland to the Dark Tower came. 1. My first thought was, he lied in every word. That hoary cripple, with malicious eye askance to watch the workings of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge, had one more victim gained thereby. 2. What else should he be set for with his staff? What, save to waylay with his lies, and snare all travelers who might find him posted there, and ask the road? I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, what crutch gin write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. 3. If at his counsel I should turn aside into that ominous tract which, all agree, hides the Dark Tower, yet acquiescingly I did turn as he pointed, neither pride, now hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness that some end might be. 4. For what with my whole world-wide wandering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring, I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. 5. as when a sick man, very near to death, seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freelier outside. Since all is o'er, he saith, and the blow fallen, no grieving can amend. 6. When some discuss if near the other graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about the banners, scarves, and staves, and still the man hears all, and only craves he may not shame such tender love, and stay. 7. Thus I had so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft, been writ so many times among the band, to wit, the knights who to the dark tower's search addressed their steps, that just to fail as they seemed best, and all the doubt was now, should I be fit. 8. So, quiet as despair, I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway, into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling to its close, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its estray. 9. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found pledged to the plain after a pace or two, than, pausing to throw backwards a last view o'er the safe road, 'twas gone. Grey plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I might go on, naught else remained to do. 10. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved, ignoble nature. Nothing throve. For flowers, as well expect a cedar grove, but cockle, spurge, according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. You'd think a burr had been a treasure trove. 11. No, penury, inertness, and grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See, or shut your eyes, said nature peevishly, it nothing skills. I cannot help my case. 'Tis the last judgment's fire must cure this place, calcine its clods, and set my prisoners free. 12. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, the head was chopped, the bents were jealous else. What made those holes and rents in the dock's harsh swarth leaves, bruised as to balk all hope of greenness? 'Tis a brute must walk, passing their life out with a brute's intents. 13. As for the grass, it grew as scant as hair in leprosy. Thin dry blades pricked the mud which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff blind horse, his every bone a stare, stood stupefied, however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. 14. Alive? He might be dead for aught I know, with that red gaunt and colloped neck astrain, and shut eyes underneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must be wicked to deserve such pain. 15. I shut my eyes, and turned them on my heart, as a man calls for wine before he fights. I asked one draught of earlier, happier sights, ere fitly I could hope to play my part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of the old time sets all to rights. 16. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold an arm to mine to fix me to the place, the way he used. Alas, one night's disgrace. Out went my heart's new fire, and left it cold. 17. Giles, then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago when knighted first. What honest man should dare, he said, he durst. Good, but the scene shifts. Faugh! What hangman hands pinned to his breast a parchment? His own bands read it. Poor traitor, spit upon and cursed. 18. Better this present than a past like that. Back, therefore, to my darkening path again. No sound, no sight as far as eye could strain. Will the night send a howlet or a bat? I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. 19. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent comes. No sluggish tide congenial to the glooms. This, as it frothed by, might have been a bath for the fiend's glowing hoof to see the wrath of its black eddy bespate with flakes and spumes. 20. So petty, yet so spiteful, all along, low scrubby alders kneeled down over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of mute despair, a suicidal throng. The river, which had done them all the wrong, whate'er that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. 21. Which, while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek, each step, or feel the spear I thrust to seek for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby's shriek. 22. Glad was I when I reached the other bank. Now for a better country. Vain presage. Who were the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample thus could pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in a red-hot iron cage? 23. The fight must so have seemed in that fell cirque. What penned them there, with all the plain to choose? No footprint leading to that horrid mews, none out of it. Mad brewage set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves the Turk pits for his pastime, Christians against Jews. 24. And more than that, a furlong on, why, there. What bad use was that engine for, that wheel, or brake, not wheel, that harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk? With all the air of Tophet's tool on earth left unaware, or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. 25. Then came a bit of stubbed ground, once a wood, next a marsh it would seem, and now mere earth, desperate and done with. So a fool finds mirth, makes a thing and then mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rood. Bog, clay and rubble, sand and stark black dearth. 26. Now blotches rankling, colored gay and grim, now patches where some leanness of the soils broke into moss or substances like boils. Then came some palsied oak, a cleft in him like a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death, and dies while it recoils. 27. And just as far as ever from the end. Naught in the distance but the evening, naught to point my footstep further. At the thought, a great black bird, Apollyon's bosom friend, sailed past, not best his wide-winged dragon penned, that brushed my cap, perchance the guide I sought. 28. For looking up, aware I somehow grew, spite of the dusk, the plain had given place all round to mountains, with such name to grace mere ugly heights and heaps now stolen in view. How thus they had surprised me, salvet you. How to get from them was no clearer case. 29. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief happened to me, God knows when. In a bad dream, perhaps. Here ended, then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one time more came a click as when a trap shuts, you're inside the den. 30. Burningly, it came on me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills on the right, crouched like two bulls locked horn in fight. While to the left, a tall scalped mountain, dunce, dotard, a dozing at the very nonce after a life spent training for the sight. 31. What in the midst lay but the tower itself? The round, squat turret, blind as the fool's heart, built of brown stone, without a counterpart in the whole world. The tempest's mocking elf, points to the shipman, thus the unseen shelf he strikes on, only when the timbers start. 32. Not see? Because of night, perhaps? Why, day came back again for that. Before it left, the dying sunset kindled through a cleft. The hills, like giants at a hunting, lay chin upon hand to see the game at bay. Now stab and end the creature to the heft. 33. Not here? When noise was everywhere. It tolled, increasing like a bell, names in my ears of all the lost adventurers, my peers. How such a one was strong, and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of old lost. Lost. One moment knelled the woe of years. 34. There they stood, ranged along the hillsides, met to view the last of me, a living frame for one more picture. In a sheet of flame I saw them, and I knew them all. And yet, dauntless, the slug horn to my lips I set, and blew. Child Roland to the dark tower came.
I don't normally air poetry, but that is powerful, and it says it all. Dauntless lifted the slug horn to my lips and blew. Child Roland to the dark tower came. Your calls, a ton of important information, straight ahead.
Uncover a simple privacy loophole that can stop the NSA spying thugs in their tracks at privacylockdown.com. The NSA has already shut down hundreds of sites, and to truth be told, they could shut down this operation at any time. See, the privacy loophole I'm about to show you allows you to make all your sensitive information disappear in the next 30 days or less. Go to privacylockdown.com now to take your life off the grid and see the loophole in the NSA and FBI spying machine before they close the loophole forever. Go to privacylockdown.com.
Honey, look, I'm getting jerky with it.
You're getting what?
Getting jerky with it. I'm getting jerky at jerkyspot.com. They've got over 100 delicious jerkies to choose from, like crunchy maple bacon jerky, cranberry jalapeno, and even liquor-infused beef jerky.
Go to jerkyspot.com today and save $5 on your first order. Use the code TRYJERKYSPOT. Jerkyspot.com. It's all your favorite jerky in one spot.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 as part of your daily routine puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. Terraganix.com.
In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $29.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and comes with free shipping. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The video that Darren McBreen put together, very powerful anti-suicide cult video is up on Infowars.com. Video, Soylent Green is made out of people. DrudgeReport.com is linked to our article dealing with the Border Patrol terrorizing a woman with a knife and taser in a highway pullover miles from the border. Just shows the bizarre behavior. And again, I'm not even demonizing the Border Patrol. This is just a mess. But that story and video is up on Infowars.com. Let's go back to your calls. I appreciate David holding. Then we'll go to Alex, James, Al, Anya, and Anya's in France. So I need to skip ahead and get to Anya soon, because some of those folks call on their own dime. David in Oklahoma, you're on the air. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Alex, good to talk to you. I've been listening to your radios for about a year now, and I just wanted to talk to you about what you think about the medical establishment pushing their agendas for things that people don't really need.
Well, I mean, it's a mix. You've got a lot of good doctors, a lot of great nurses. They got a really hard job. But the drugs aren't working anymore. The bugs are becoming hyper-resistant. And now the government and the bioethicist boards, the death panels, are programming the hospitals and programming the system to take medicine out of the hands of the doctors and even make it worse. So that's my view on it. Most doctors are really good people. It's just that they are in a cult, basically, of doing things one way. I mean, they're great when your leg's broken or you got a gunshot wound, or when you have, your aorta explode. Miracle medicine. It's just that pharma itself has become very predatory. What's your view on it?
Well, I grew up in a chiropractic background, and I was always told not to take anything that I don't need. So I think that if you have any back pain or anything like, I don't know, anything other than, just, you don't need to go to the doctor for a normal, regular cold.
Well, I know this. I know a lot of people, they say have knee surgery, and then they just go and take yoga or stretch, and they don't need, and take, the proper type of joint support. We have at InfoWarsHealth.com. I mean, it's just miraculous what the Alex Pack does, that has the different things in it, including the FX support and the things it does for the joints. I mean, they're just not telling you that a lot of times there are things other than surgery, and that's being proven. And so MD medicine run by the system is wanting to shut down its competition. Great points. Anya in France, where the story of Roland comes from. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, Alex.
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling you just basically because I really feel for you. I'm living here in France, and we're not quite where you are at the moment. I've been watching your programs and trying to sort of update myself on all the information that you're giving out, and I really feel for you because I don't know how you get these people to move. I really don't. I can see they're moving, but I think it's a bit too late. And I actually think that elsewhere in the world, they're as asleep as they are in the States, only you're much further on than we are. I actually think that this New World Order is on our doorstep, and nobody is actually aware of it. Or they are aware of it, but you talk to people. I can hear people talking on your show, and they're sort of okay. They're aware, but there are so many people out there. You can actually alienate people talking about these things.
I agree. Stay there. I'm going to come right back to you. Calling from France, Anya. You're making some great points. I want to get your idea on how you think we do reach out to people and solutions. So don't hang up. We're going to come back to you. And then we're going to go to Alex and James and Al and David Knight's going to be popping in about secret EPA testing that's been exposed and more in the next hour. Infowars.com. Follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones. Help us get that Soylent Green video out to everybody.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Going back to Anya in France, a first-time caller. She was getting into alienating people, bringing up this info. No, it's true. I mean, we've been incrementally brought up in all this, and some countries are ahead more than others in different areas. I would say France is further ahead in some respects, but the U.S. is more ahead in other ways. GMO, police state, a lot of it. It's a complex issue, but, I mean, where do you see the world going? How do you see the people being able to get folks out of their trance?
Well, I don't. That's the problem. I mean, I've literally turned my whole family against me. Like I say, we're not where you are, but if you go on to GMOs, okay, France is sort of on the front, but I think that the lobbying in Brussels is going to be a big problem. You talk about chemtrails. I've got them up in my sky. Nobody seems to want to know about it. It's absolutely frightening. It's really frightening. I've been watching Christine Lagarde on her readjusting the whole finance. I really don't think people realise what's going on. I mean, I don't know where they're living. I've just come out from underneath a rock, and you actually don't think you're living anymore. It's really frightening because you talk to people and they just don't want to know. Nobody wants to know. You actually become a bit like an alien.
Well, I agree with you, but that's because they're asleep. You're trying to wake them up. They want to keep sleeping. It's because they're in a technotronically induced, in Brzezinski's own words, trance-like state. And so, it's like living in a body snatcher movie. When they finally start to wake up, though, it's going to be explosive.
It's too late. It's too late. I mean, I literally, I'm sort of thinking, well, what the hell's going on here? I mean, where are these people? I'm listening to you, and I can see that you've got people over there. But then you watch videos. I mean, I watched a video today of a guy, and you were talking about these Americans behind their screens playing gaming. Well, I saw something on RT television, which was about the computers being shipped out to Ghana, and you see this bloody American guy sitting behind, and his wife is being interviewed on a settee with her daughter, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, it's great because I'm sort of like I'm bonding with my son," and I'm thinking, "Fucking hell! Well, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. This is where all these people are. I mean, they're just living in another world."
Well, literally, you're right. You're watching people being sucked into the matrix. You're watching other people get even deeper into it, and you're watching the societal takeover happen. And the globalists...
And I really appreciate you, Alex, because to be quite honest with you, I mean, I've been listening to you every evening now. I mean, you're my lifeline. You're my lifeline because once you have this veil pulled off you don't know where you are. You sort of think, well, Jesus Christ, where have I been all these years? Where have I been?
But see, it's going to be the same way for other people that weren't awake. It's a process, and all of us aren't totally awake. We're always learning more. We all see through rose-colored darklies. But, I mean, look, you woke up. When did you start waking up?
Only a few weeks ago.
Well, see, but I mean, that's good. See, but just like you think they're laughing at you now, or they're getting angry at you now, down the road, you're planting seeds that will sprout. Because this New World Order is real. This dehumanization is real. This is really happening. And so the fact that you're warning people, they will wake up down the road.
Well, I hope so. But, you know, I spoke to my father about it, and he thinks I'm a lunatic. He really thinks I'm a lunatic.
Well, that's because he judges the world off of how he is, and he's reasonable and nice, I'm surmising. And so he just can't believe that people would act like this. It's like neighbors when they get told, we just dug up 25 bodies in your next door neighbor's backyard.
Well, I actually think it's a bit. You know, my first thought was, I feel a bit like, and I don't know how people are going to perceive this. I actually feel like a Jew in sort of like just before I go into a gas chamber.
Well, I mean, that's a normal feeling. No, this is a predatory system, and it is authoritarian, and it is predatory. So we've got to admit that. Thanks for the call. In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
The earth riches and wisdom. So we have even right there.
What's his name?
This is an emergency transmission from FEMA Region 6 in occupied North America.
There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the InfoWar. There is a predatory, scientifically directed world government that's forming. It's not in total control yet. It wants total control. And its main mission is to give the elites life extension technologies and control over the rest of humanity for forced population reduction in a designed, controlled, technocratic future. And the different plans all sit together like Russian dolls and run from bad to worse. And it tends to be the most vicious, most predatory that are captaining the different globalist programs that work in concert together on record. Their religion is social Darwinism. That the elite are allowed to kill and do whatever they want because they're in charge, because they are the fittest. I, of course, have given the analogy of cancer. Cancer is not elite because it's able to run through the body and destroy what is its host, finally extincting its own habitat. That does not mean that every other system out there operating is good either. Humans, in general, have our own problems, and it is a human manifestation of our weaknesses that have allowed this ultimately selfish and wicked group to be in control. There is no honor amongst these people. The globalists are a den of devils. There's no other way to describe it. If you don't believe in a physical Satan, it doesn't matter. Because the New World Order is an archetypal manifestation that is more satanic than anything you could ever imagine. Now, my friends, David Knight's here with us for this segment, then more calls and news in the next. Host of the Nightly News with Leanne McAdoo and, of course, Jakari Jackson. And when I was first looking at hiring him about a year and a half ago, David Knight up in North Carolina, I knew in part of his resume had worked in some libertarian think tanks, and of course, owned different video production companies and things. So he was a journalist, and I was really excited in the work he'd done and covered with us before he even moved here, dealing with groups that were investigating inside colleges secret testing of stuff 50 to 100 times, sometimes higher, what is safe and allowable in a test. And they did this to skew the numbers, to take super high numbers and then apply it to small numbers of particula to ban fireplaces. We were first telling you about this years ago. People didn't believe it. Now it's in the news. They want to ban fireplaces or tax you for having them, or wood-burning stoves. It's a tool of control. Here it is in the Daily Caller today from the government documents and testimony in Congress. We have a clip coming up as well. But report, EPA tested deadly pollutants on humans to push Obama administration's agenda. Because they're not just going to list carbon dioxide as a deadly pollutant that plants breathe to tax it. They're going to tax all particula, while not worrying about serious particula coming in from China in the jet stream, or GMO, or pesticides, or fluoride in the water. No, it's all about saying any particula, including hay dust, is illegal. Your children doing chores on the farm, illegal. This is all being announced. We push back, they back off, they come back. So this is a total takeover that makes feudalism in ancient England look like a heavenly dream. This is neo-feudalism in their own words. David Knight, break down the history of this and give folks the rest of the story.
Exactly right, Alex. This is coming back into the news because they're trying to push this wood smoke regulation. This is something that's been going around for quite some time with the EPA. Actually, going back to September of 2011, we have a clip that I want to play in just a second here. This is EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson, and she goes before Congress, and it was already set up with Representative Markey that she's going to tell everybody just how dangerous these fine particulate matter is.
Let's go to that clip.
Yeah.
Cumulatively, what are the benefits of cleaning up particulate matter? Does that help or hurt our efforts to battle cancer, to battle the impact it has upon the health of people in our country?
Particulate matter or soot causes premature deaths. It doesn't make you sick. It's directly causal to dying sooner than you should. So the impacts of delaying efforts, cost-effective efforts, I might add, to address particulate matter are more people dying sooner than they should.
How would you compare it to the fight against cancer? Reducing particulate matter.
Yeah, I was briefed not long ago. If we could reduce particulate matter to healthy levels, it would have the same impact as finding a cure for cancer in our country.
Can you say that sentence one more time?
Yes, sir. If we could reduce particulate matter to levels that are healthy, we would have an identical impact.
They talk to us like we're two.
She's reading her talking points about cancer.
That's pretty good cumulative.
Meanwhile, they're putting cancer viruses in all the major vaccines on record.
You know, he starts this, he's already got her talking point set up where she's going to tell everybody that particulate matter is killing as many people as cancer. And he even mentioned that. At the very beginning, he says cancer. And so then she repeats that claim. Now, at the same time she's giving this congressional testimony, the EPA in North Carolina, at the University of North Carolina, is hooking people up to diesel exhaust fumes out of a diesel truck. They got a pipe running in, they put them in a little closed room, and they put a mask over their face, and they're feeding them diesel fumes.
And they lie to them and tell them it's safe.
Exactly. Now, so that happened now in September of 2012. So that congressional testimony was 2011. At the time, they're exposing people to levels that the EPA has already said were fatal. They're 50 to 70 times, in some cases higher than that, levels of exposure to this that they've already determined were fatal. Now, in September 2012, the American Tradition Institute, and this is based on some detective work by Steve Malloy with junkscience.com, he looked at, he's constantly monitoring the EPA, and he saw where this lady was sent to the hospital. So he started investigating, and he found exactly what they were doing. They started a temporary restraining order. They sued to stop.
And you told me about this before it broke, because you've worked with these groups.
That's right. That was about a month before I started. You had David Schneier, who is the attorney, on. He talked to you about what was going on, and they filed for a temporary restraining order. In February, following that, about 6 months, 5 months, it was turned down by a judge. He said, no problem. Now, actually, there was a lot of problem. He said in the lawsuit, scientific assessments by the EPA conducted in 2004 and 2009 determined that there was no safe level exposure. That's just what she was telling the congressman. Nevertheless, they pumped it directly into the lungs of humans, including an obese volunteer and a volunteer with chronic asthma. See, they were looking for volunteers that even already had heart and respiratory issues.
And then you guys found out in the lawsuit and with your... going back from memory for the articles, that, again, they were skewing it, then claiming it was a lower level that did it.
Yes.
I mean, this is incredible fraud. So the story isn't just the secret deadly testing, Nazi level. It is the fact that they're a cult that would do this and then lie with the information. This is a group of sniveling criminals. And that same woman had to resign because she had fake secret emails operating to keep her criminal activity secret. This is a conspiracy of bloated, demonic pigs.
That's right. Now, what happened, the reason the Daily Caller picked this up is not just the wood smoke thing, but on March the 31st, a year after the judge said there's no problem, they released guidelines to say this is how we can enhance protection of human study subjects. This is a year afterwards. And what they're saying is, while the consent forms met the requirements, we found that exposure risks were not always consistently represented. Furthermore, the EPA did not include information on long-term cancer risks in its diesel exhaust studies consent form. Yeah, that's exactly right. When you look at their consent forms, and I've got it reproduced here from Adon's article back in September 26, 2012, he says, this is the consent form they were giving them. They said, if you have any tendency to become uncomfortable in small, closed spaces, it's possible you may become uncomfortable during this study. See, it's just claustrophobia. Then this is the closest that they get to warning people about the health consequences of this. They say, you may experience some minor degree of airway irritation, cough, and shortness of breath or wheezing. These symptoms typically disappear 2 to 4 hours after exposure, but may last longer for particularly sensitive people. This is the same EPA where the head of the EPA, Lisa Jackson, has just told people that that's the cause of death. It's one of the leading causes of death. It kills as many people as cancer.
They're consciously doing something they admit is at fatal levels and sending people to the hospital to fraudulently claim it was the type of particularly you'd get on the highway in the documents.
Yes.
So total criminal fraud at every level.
And so the question is, they really were caught between a rock and a hard place. The question was, do you really believe your own regulations? If you do, you're trying to sentence people to death, okay? You're Nazi war criminals. Or are these regulations faked? Are they hyped? Well, the reality is, I think that in both cases, they've hyped the regulations, but we've seen over and over again that the government has no qualms about exposing people, whether you're talking about Tuskegee Institute or so many times. Just look at what happened with the USS Reagan at Fukushima, where they send the sailors into Fukushima.
Yeah, people say you can't keep this stuff secret. 44 years. They kept it secret. Tens of thousands of black people injected with syphilis.
Mm-hmm.
And then the media always spins it just like that's it. No, it was designed to spread it in the community.
There's been many, many cases of this. So in this particular
case... They didn't
case,
tell them they were giving them syphilis.
Yes, exactly. In this particular case, if the EPA believe their regulations, they're exposing people to lethal dosages of this particulate matter.
By the way, I'm sorry. Somebody injects my family with syphilis, I'm gonna kill them. You know, we just put up with basically anything in this country, and I'm sick of it. People say, that's radical. No, we've gotten in the position where the government just murders people, and it's not the government. It is a group of criminal, eugenicist scum. And I'm sick of them putting fluoride in the water. I'm sick of them doing all this stuff. They're a bunch of sick freaks.
Yeah.
Quit murdering us.
And so 2 days ago, they come out with this release from an inspector general at the EPA, basically covering themselves and say, well, we really didn't do anything wrong, but here's how we could do it right next time. I mean, they speak out of both sides of the...
Well, look at U.S. Code Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1528, paragraph B. It says we've outlawed secret testing unless for research or law enforcement purposes.
Yes.
Let's do one more segment on this. Bottom of the hour, I'm going to go to your calls. Alex, James, Al, Lori, Ironhead. We're going to get to all of you and more. And I'm sorry. If some crazy person's running around with a needle on the street trying to inject me with syphilis, I'm going to defend myself. So I don't care who it is. This is out of control. Admit we have a scientific group of mad scientists jacking with everything, laughing at us. And all you that work for the system, you're being targeted too.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
Jessica Armand here, creator of My Magic Mud, the all-natural teeth whitener and strengthening remedy that's getting rave reviews from GCN listeners. Here's what Austin dentist Dr. Griffin Cole has to say about it.
I really love this Magic Mud product. Because charcoal is so absorbent, it's very effective at taking off all the sticky plaque and debris that gets stuck on our teeth every day. I highly recommend My Magic Mud.
Visit mymagicmud.com to hear the full interview with Dr. Cole. Get your jar today. That's mymagicmud.com.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you. Has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day, unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
So, Dad, you're sounding a lot better. How have you been feeling since your heart attack?
Well, son, I am feeling a lot better. Ever since your sister ordered me a bottle of Heart Drop 2000's Extendovite for my heart.
Heart Drop? Extendovite? What's that?
Well, it's just 7 herbs that are approved for helping keep my heart healthy.
That's great, Dad. I was getting worried about you. I am so glad it's helping.
So am I, son. I'm very glad your sister got it for me. I wish I had known about it before my heart attack.
Yeah, but would you have taken it, though?
You know, I'm not sure if I would have, but I'm awful glad I'm taking it now. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Uncover a simple privacy loophole that can stop the NSA spying thugs in their tracks at privacylockdown.com. The NSA has already shut down hundreds of sites, and to truth be told, they could shut down this operation at any time. See, the privacy loophole I'm about to show you allows you to make all your sensitive information disappear in the next 30 days or less. Go to privacylockdown.com now to take your life off the grid and see the loophole in the NSA and FBI spying machine before they close the loophole forever. Go to privacylockdown.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows.
We have incredible video up on Infowars.com from KRQE News in Albuquerque on the heels of them shooting the homeless man and then letting the dog chew on his dead body with pleasure. Now federal marshals, federal Gestapo, shoot an unarmed man in Albuquerque and then confiscate the cell phones, but it didn't work. I mean, it just gets crazier and crazier by the day. New Mexico is basically federalized is the reason this is happening. It's been a territory forever. It never really became a state, in my view. David Knight, we're going to go to calls the next segment. Finishing up, though, this is a big deal because this is just the tip of the iceberg. We know there's lethal testing on troops going on, all of this, and no one gets in trouble because this is part of the scientific dictatorship. It is their sacrament. It is part of the religion of these people.
Yes.
Like taking communion or something to secretly test on people. It is the raw exercise of power with the GMOs, with the food, the water, the geoengineering. And they go, yeah, we're spending billions on secret programs to change the atmosphere. We're not going to tell you what we're doing. Shut up. Yeah, we're funding Al-Qaeda. We're not going to tell you what we're doing with that. It's just, they just do whatever they want in the shadow state. And it's a bunch of eugenicist professors running it. They tried to recruit my dad when, you know, he was in state testing in high school and was salutatorian or whatever, and that was in the top, 6 in the state scores across the board. They called him in at UT like in 1967 or whatever before he was getting out of high school and said, we want you to join the eugenics cult. He didn't even tell me this till I made Endgame. But it's the standard deal. I've had other historians on who got the same speech. You're the top of your class. You're in science. They come to you. This is a cult. David Knight.
Yeah, and they went after the top of the class as far as the Nazi war criminals who were experimenting on people.
Oh, they wanted them like they were it was like a sports team trying to get the top people.
Absolutely. They had the Nuremberg trials where they did a show trial of some of the people, but they brought over a huge number of scientists in Operation Paperclip. If you want to read a very compelling book about that and about what was happening in the 1950s and the aftermath of that, chemical biological testing on humans with Japanese and German war criminal scientists, look at the book, A Horrible Mistake by, and it's about Dr. Frank Olson. He was a scientist that committed suicide by jumping out of a window. Okay, they had given him LSD.
They threw him out the window.
Yeah, exactly. They his sons have investigated this. It's a very interesting story, but one of the most interesting things about it is not even necessarily his personal story. It shows how they come after the people that work with them eventually, right? They eventually turn on the Quislings. They eventually turn on the minions or whatever. If they wake up and see what's going on, if they have a conscience about it, as he did, they kill you. Okay.
Or maybe they just are competing with you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that going. This is dishonorable.
Well, getting back to this particular thing, a lot of people will look at that and they'll say, even the person who wrote this book, he wrote a meticulous chronology of what happened in this story about Dr. Frank Olson. But it's like, yeah, that was then. It's a good thing that doesn't happen anymore. Baloney, it does. Look at this. We've got a federal law that prohibits medical experiments on humans imposing risks that are not reasonable in relation to the anticipated benefits. This is from Dr. David Schneier. He was an EPA scientist for 34 years. He was retired. He took the lead on this temporary restraining order where they're trying to stop the EPA from feeding diesel fumes to human subjects that they've already pre-screened to try to find people that have heart conditions and respiratory conditions so they can exaggerate and extend the regulatory reach of the EPA.
They're trying to hurt people.
Exactly. And then there's another doctor who looked at the consent forms, a Dr. Dunn, and he is a policy advisor to the American Council on Science and Health. And what he said was, the human experimentation was scandalously unethical and immoral. There can be no further tolerance of this misconduct, and yet The judge said, that's fine, no problem. And that was in February. That was a year ago.
Why not go back to injecting black people with syphilis?
Yeah, yeah. And now a year later, they come out and they say, oh, well, you know, let's enhance our guidelines a little bit to make sure this doesn't happen again. Well, evidently there wasn't a problem a year ago, but now there is a problem. But it all points to what they're trying to do with the particulate matter. And if you look at, I think it might still be there. I didn't look to see if the EPA page has changed or not. But if you look up the EPA page on fine particulate matter, they've had for the longest time, a year ago when I started here and I did the report, they had a picture of the Smoky Mountains. Remember that report?
And they said there's smoky from particulate. That's an Indian name, Smoky Mountains. It's cold air hitting hot air. It's clouds. It's fog.
That's right. It's been that way since before.
And they know that.
Yeah, it's always been that way. And yet they use the Smoky Mountains as a poster child for their phony regulations. At the same time, they're exposing people to 50 to 70 to 100 times what they say are lethal limits of exposure of particulate matter. They do it themselves. They break their own rules.
Unbelievable. David Knight, thank you so much. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There'll be more on the Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock Central. In fact, I'm going to air the Soylent Green piece. I never air something twice the same day. It's so powerful. I'm going to air this when we come back. Then I'm going right to your phone calls. Alex, James, Al, Lori, Ironhead. We're going to go to Alex first.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run.
Soylent
Alex
Green.
Jones and the GCN
The video's up on
Radio Network.
Infowars.com. Get it out to everybody. Soylent Green. It's made of people. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. Aborted babies incinerated to heat UK hospitals. Soylent Green, ladies and gentlemen, is made out of people.
But now children are literally being passed through the furnace
in order to fuel hospitals in the UK. They're being sacrificed on the altar of efficiency and prosperity.
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
The powdered flesh from dead babies. Some people believe they can cure disease.
Because of its enormous popularity, Soylent Green is in short supply. Remember, Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. You must evacuate the area. Today is Tuesday!
The federal court ruled that the shareholders of PepsiCo, big Bilderberg Group company, are not allowed to know what they're using the baby parts for in the flavoring, but we already know. So enjoy the flavor.
We're going to get the real solution, which is going to be a combination of death panels and sales taxes.
I'm consistently pro-death. I'm for assisted suicide. I'm for regular suicide. I'm for whatever gets the freeway moving.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade up in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion.
They told me to say that they were sorry, but that you had become unreliable.
Is this the kind of society that you want to live in? Any kind of society that would do this to its children will do it to its senior citizens. It will do it to its dissidents. That kind of society will also eventually turn on its police, on its army, on its prison guards, on the quislings and the collaborators who make that possible. This is nothing but a suicide cult.
The scoops are on their way. The scoops are on their way. I repeat, the scoops are on their way.
You will find out why Soylent Green means life. You will find out why Soylent Green means death.
We gotta stop them!
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
Soylent Green is people!
Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them.
The New World Order is based on the destruction of humans. An inverted satanic system. You sign on to this, you sign on to your own death warrant. That's what's so ridiculous about it all. Why would anyone want to be part of this? And they're building a world that's unsustainable to make this self-fulfilling prophecy come true and make us fail in their hatred of humanity, letting the worst of us run things instead of trying to build unlimited civilization, unlimited art, unlimited beauty. But with that comes virtue and freedom, and they don't want that free will. Break with the New World Order. Break down and give into the goodness. Start your journey in your heart to loving freedom and to deciding you're going to research the world and how it really works. And you will discover the truth. But it's a journey you've got to consciously decide you're going to make. And facing this evil, if you don't believe in God, folks, you should. I'm not saying you're going to find God in most of these churches. I mean, these things are establishment. They have been infiltrated by the world. They have been taken over. Across the board, they're very bad. Even good churches still are afraid of the system and won't warn the people. They're very rare. Somebody like Chuck Baldwin, who's a pastor and is attacked by the ADLs at the Poverty Law Center, 100 years ago would be a moderate. All he's doing is preaching the Constitution, Bill of Rights, in a biblical perspective. Watch his sermons. They're just a standard preacher. But in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, and it scares the system. Scares the system when we talk about everything our forebears did, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the strong, the pure of heart, the wicked, all of it in this quest to decide the world we've built. You don't live that long, folks. Life's like that. But the sum aggregate of human development and literature and ideas and all of it is the quest. That's 100%. You can debate religion, you can debate God, you can debate it all, but we're together in this human experience. Because I am a lover, I am a fighter. The saying, I'm a lover, not a fighter. The greatest fighters are the greatest lovers. All the cowards that try to kneel at the black altars of hate and evil, seeking power, are weak. They only have power in this world because we give it to them. We don't realize our own innate strength and how powerful God is shining through us. The enemy fears you. That's why they've poisoned your mind and your body from birth. That's why you've been under attack from the time you were conceived into this dimension. From the foundations of our species, wickedness has been waging war on the potential that is God's creation. God's masterwork. Are we going to let the New World Order continue to mutilate and defile and desecrate and engage in galactic vandalism? Or are we going to take up the birthright that we've been given? These churches are all there to make you feel guilty and bad all day, so you'll feel like you're evil, so that really evil people can run things. The devil is the accuser, constantly telling you how sinful you are, how bad you are, how you're not fit to be a parent, how you're not fit to be a leader, how you're not fit, so you'll sit in the ditch while the evil people take over the road and take control of the society. What matters is your heart. You choose good. You love good. You love justice. You feel bad when you do wrong. You repent. And then you go out and you do good because it's in your heart. This is the secret to life. This is what we must do. Satan is the adversary, the accuser, the serpent, the devil. Let's go to your phone calls. Alex in Missouri, thanks for holding. I appreciate it. You're on the air. Welcome.
You were on George Norrie last night, right?
Yes, sir.
And you said you wanted to find out what made you and your father sick, what possibly killed your uncle and your other relative and your 3 friends, right?
Yes.
All right. I think I have something for you here. Have you ever heard of Scoopified?
I know there are a lot of really bad funguses out there, and the doctors say that's contributing.
No, Scoopified is it's a catalog magazine type thing, and
no, I mean I haven't heard of Scoopicide. I'm just guessing.
Stupefied.
Stupefied.
Scoopified. SCOOP.
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
FIED. All right, what they've got is in their December 2013 issue says, based on classified documents leaked, this will only take a minute, leaked by a source currently serving in a very high position with the Department of Defense, the following has been revealed. Nano devices have been dispersed through the public water supply, through bottled water, and through the food supply. The leaked documents indicate that an estimated 87% of the population are currently infected with at least one of these nano devices. The government's goal is 98%. They expect this to be achieved possibly by January 2014. The sociopathic forces within the U.S. government plan to use this system in conjunction with a planned economic collapse and the institution of martial law. The nano device itself will not hurt you until they activate it with a radio signal. The plan is not to kill the entire population, but to use it as a form of crowd control, to put down uprisings or riots when the collapse happens. Once everyone has this nano device in them, they can use drones to fly over trouble areas, activate the nano device, and cause a flu outbreak with a 98% fatality rate. That is why the use of drones over the U.S. is being so heavily pushed. We are already seeing strange, isolated flu outbreaks, killing hundreds of people. For details, visit www.cosmicawareness.org, attention-urgent. And there's also one other one that you can check. It's for a grand expose on the federal government's overreach and unconstitutional behavior. Visit www.youtube.com/watch?V=NXG.
No, that's fine. It's generally better just to give the name of a video because nobody's able to get those. But listen, I really appreciate your call. God bless you, sir. Well, what I know is this, and I know the sites you're talking about. The problem is whether that's science fiction or real. And I've actually read that before. I remember that last year. It doesn't matter because the Sunshine Project 15 years ago, based in Austin, it's like WikiLeaks, got declassified Marine Corps documents that the Marine Corps freaked out on how to reclassify. This ended up being in the newspaper. The Marine Corps actually went to their headquarters and threatened them. The professors at UT, I had them on. It was UT professors running it. And it's a plan with helicopters, including remote-controlled drone helicopters, waiting with nerve gas on board over every major city to launch and kill everybody. Now, the declassified documents dealt with opiate knockout gases that they estimate would still kill more than 10% of the population with fires, car wrecks, explosions. Like in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where the helicopter flies over and sprays the knockout gas on all the people and the farm animals. That's really, this is how out of control the government is. I mean, they're not just going to radiate troops and give them nerve gas. They're not just going to inject people with syphilis for 45 years. They're not just taking blood from a baby at birth. They're doing it all. And yes, all nanotech is search biological nanotech. They've already rolled it out. They've got a lot of new vaccines that they call biological nanotech. And it's in the literature that you're already being injected with nanotech. The H1N1 vaccine was a engineered nanotech virus and was put out in the population the year before. That was declassified. They called it a tracker viral simulant that it turned out was a real autoimmune suppressing weapon. It didn't even really give you the flu. And that even came out in the Canadian news because so many scientists and government people are not bad. The other uncompartmentalized side, that's why they want total control to shut that down. They would then go to the research at one university or at the federal government in Canada in that case and go, oh my gosh, this is giving you the regular flu. Oh my gosh, this is a nanotech. Oh, look, literature. Last year, this was put in the vaccine as a virus tracker, a, quote, harmless flu, but they could test the spread of it. It wasn't. They literally put a nanotech bioweapon. This came out in the news, not in speculative websites, just claiming classified documents without linking to them. When we give you a classified document, folks, we link to it. You know, we have the FBI show up here. We have the Secret Service show up here. We have the Federal Marshal show up here. You know, I get to get beaten up in parking lots. I mean, this is real. So the whole issue here is that I just don't like this thing of, oh, I got a document or this document or that without a document. Our documents will have phone numbers. You can call up angry feds on them and who will threaten you and say you shouldn't have this. Our documents become national news stories because they're real. They're rolling out everything, folks. So, yes, it's the end of free will. And the establishment is insane and needs to stop it. You are the threat to the planet. You are the people that detonated over 100 high-powered hydrogen bombs in North American airspace to try to blow holes in the ozone layer and destroy the Van Allen radiation belt and ignite the atmosphere and cause a electromagnetic event to test blowing out transistors. And that's declassified. It's just the stuff that's declassified. Like I told you, one of Rick Perry's top people came to Endgame when it premiered because he knew Rick Perry was in it. And he said, no, the governor sent me down there. He didn't say it was off record. He said, I wanted to see the movie because he knows he's in it and he likes you and he's not really a bad guy. And by the way, I worked in the Army at Fort Sam Houston. And they brought in a group of special forces. And we were told to give them inoculations. And they died 3 days later, all of them. And then we went in spacesuits, basically, and sprayed the whole place off with disinfectant. And they threw the furniture away. And he goes, so I know your movie's real. I mean, that's what goes on. You just, and they're compartmentalized. What is this? We're just told give the guys shots. You kill them. It's just, I mean, this is what we deal with. The cult of letting these globalists do whatever they want. And you know, people say, oh, that's that crazy Alex Jones. They don't even say that anymore. It's like, what are you going to do about it? They're coming out with vaccines, quote, where you're not upset anymore. They're going to give troops when they get out of the military. They're going to give it to all of them. They're trying to push it on, quote, the depressants right now. And, folks, it literally eats the area of your brain associated with spiritual experiences, euphoria, that's also associated with depression. And your husband comes home, he's going to be a robot and do whatever he says like a human forklift. They're already giving troops shots that literally destroy their minds. Okay? I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. People say, well, what do we do? I don't know. Listen, talk about it. Warn people. You got to tell them Soylent Green's made out of people. James in Texas, thanks for holding her on the air.
There's one issue that you haven't covered that I've watched some of your episodes on YouTube and PlayStation 3.
Okay, I'm not quite making that out. PlayStation 3, go ahead.
It's based on bets.
Yeah, I'm not making that out either. Just start over. Start over and tell me exactly what you're saying.
Okay. I'm a veteran of being in the military.
Okay.
And I like how America treats their vets.
Well, they treat you like a cannon that's got to be spiked.
Right. And I've actually heard a lot of vets says, oh, well, I can't get the medical treatment that I need, or I can't get the funding that I need to survive.
Well, yeah, they only use you for propaganda purposes at the ball game to get the kids to sign up. They hate your guts. You're the #1 enemy of the New World Order.
Oh, yeah.
That's public.
And
the criminals that run our government say you are the enemy. That's why they're open enemies of America.
And I agree with your opinion on guns.
Well, God bless you, brother. Thank you. Your phone was breaking up a bit. Sorry I missed the first part. God bless you, James. I'm sorry they're really doing horrible things to veterans. But they love you. Just like when they put HIV and the hepatitis shots and gave it to the gay population in New York in 1977 as a vector to spread it. They killed all those people because they loved them. Just like they gave the hemophiliacs AIDS, Bayer did on purpose, and didn't get in trouble because they love you. They're going to go on loving you.
Did you know Emergency Essentials has a lowest price promise on all of their long-term food storage and emergency supplies this month while supplies last? Save over $250 on the year's supply of basics. A year's supply of food for only $769.99. Get 36% off the Mountain House Gourmet Entrees Combo, 52% off freeze-dried tomatoes, and 57% off freeze-dried shrimp. Call Emergency Essentials at 800-999-1863 or visit BePrepared.com. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or BePrepared.com.
Attention gun owners. It's reasonable to assume that at some point you may need to defend your family from an armed attack. But is it reasonable to mount a defense without a strong offense? Infidel Body Armor goes on in seconds. Is civilian legal in all 50 states. Is 100% made in the USA. Is veteran owned and ships next business day for free. Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com. INFIDEL Bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
A 30-day GMO-free emergency food supply for only $99 at 30dayfoodsupply.com. You can purchase Oregon Trail Foods' 1-month supply of high-quality, nutritious, and healthy emergency meals. For less than $100, these vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar pouches. They're completely free of any artificial flavors and colorings, have a 20-year shelf life, and take up to 70% less space than number 10 cans. They even offer a gluten-free option. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then passing the savings to you. Purchase a 30-day, 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99 this month, and $10 ships your entire order. Visit the website at 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com, where they make preparedness affordable. 30dayfoodsupply.com.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 is part of your daily routine, puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. TERAGANIX.com.
Get the InfoWars crew to red link video. Soylent Green is made out of people. It's a 2-minute, 47-second clip that I'm asking everybody to retweet from Real Alex Jones to put out on your Facebook, your email list. This needs to be seen to show the dehumanization of humanity on every front. The decision that we're trash and are to be exterminated. Remember, this hour was brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, by our great sponsor, mypatriotsupply.com/Alex, non-GMO, huge selection of super high-quality storable foods, great customer service where I get my storable foods, mypatriotsupply.com/Alex, or you can simply call the toll-free number that is there on the site. And if you guys scroll down, I will give that, no, scroll up, I will give that number out because I can't read it on this computer screen. It's 866-229-0927. And don't forget InfoWarsStore.com for all the great Second Amendment T-shirts, documentary films, the incredible supplements we've developed that are really the best out there in my view, InfoWarsLife.com. It makes it all possible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead now and go back to the calls. We'll do some overdrive to finish the board of calls. Al in New Jersey, then Laura, David, and Ironhead. Go ahead, Al, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, brother.
What a difference an hour makes. When I first got on hold, my whole body was practically vibrating with I was just jacked up. And now I'm totally relaxed, and I don't even know what to say.
Well, I hear you, buddy. That's all. I mean, what did you originally want to call in about?
I don't know. I wrote a bunch of stuff down. But I'm glad you introduced me to Steve Quayle from your show. You know, you had Steve Quayle on your show a couple of times.
Yeah, I want to get Steve Quayle back on.
And did you ever have Stan Deo on?
We need to get him on.
Yeah, he was good. All I know is the truth sets us free. And being free is a really bizarre experience for someone who's been in bondage their whole life.
It's like waking up, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's scary. Physically and mental experiences like I've never had before. I just started listening to you a few months ago, and then those other guys, Steve Quayle and I don't know. You ever hear Hagman and Hagman Radio?
Yeah, I'm going to get them back on. They're good guys.
Yeah, so I'm into all this now, and I don't know. You think Obama could be the Antichrist?
He is an Antichrist. The Bible says there are many Antichrists. He's the Antichrist spirit. Anyone that serves evil and wants to hurt little children and wants to steal consciousness and steal free will is of the Antichrist. They are the opposite of Christ. Antichrist means opposite of Christ, but a counterfeit.
That's right. One other thing I wrote down, experience I had. If somebody ever pulls a gun on us or a knife, first thing to do is just charge.
Absolutely. Yeah, there it is out of 1 John 2:18. Even now, many antichrists have come. This is how we know it is the last hour. Many antichrists. God bless you, sir. They're like Agent Smith in the Matrix. It's all the same thing. It's all the same spirit, all the same enemy over and over again. The man in black fled into the desert, followed by the gunslinger. Let's go to Ironhead in Washington. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Still there?
Yes, sir. I'm going to take you to the next segment, but go ahead.
Yeah. I also caught you last night with George Norrie, and funny, the fellow before just mentioned Steve Quayle. Exemplary. One nice, beautiful thing about Stevie, he combines the spiritual essence with the 3D commentary. The one thing I wanted to speak to, also the gentleman who spoke just before, in terms of problem, reaction, solution.
Stay there. We're coming back in overdrive, internet only, Infowars.com/show for the free feeds. Stay there. I'll have you finish up Ironhead. Then Laura and David, and then we're going to end it.
You are listening to
Until
GCN.
tonight, 7 o'clock with the news.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage. For your home kitchen, purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, Ironhead, go ahead and make your point, sir. Talking about the mystery illnesses.
Yeah, regarding the illnesses that heavily took out your relatives, my mother, and a host of other people around us. And this is what I was trying to say about, instead of going into problem, reaction, solution, as the two gentlemen previous callers came up with, there's a morphic field. All points in space and time are connected. He who can give us the worst possible can also give us all of the answers. If we drop out of our left brain, out of our mind, into our collective consciousness of heartfelt Christ consciousness, all the answers are right in front of us. I'm going to give you two names real quickly. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, which was sad. Last time I talked to you back in February, when we were talking about the mystery illness, I was going to mention Dr. Sherry Tenpenny because she is one of the leading experts.
Yeah, we've had her on probably 50 times over the last decade, and her husband just died, so we've been kind of letting her have some time off.
Right, and well, she's also one of the leading foremost experts on chlorine dioxide, MMS. With my mother, we took out the flu. I had the flu too here after Christmas. Within 48 hours, completely annihilated it. Within 1 week, this mystery illness, whatever you want to call it, goes to the lungs. And it's all about oxidizers. Two names, Sherry Tenpenny and not doctor, but Jim Humble, the man.
Yeah, we'll get her back on. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, Lori in Ohio. Thanks for holding her on the air.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment on the lady from France. She said it was too late to wake up. It may have taken me 2 years between my husband Shiloh and you, but I am fully awake, and I just want to thank you and my husband. And I try and plug and throw things out there that I've learned from the both of you to coworkers, to friends, as much as I can. For example, real quick, a coworker was telling me how she wanted to start eating healthier and things like that. And I said, well, don't buy anything, fruit or vegetable, from the West Coast. And she looked at me with this really strange look, and she was like, why? And I said, Fukushima, the radiation. She had no clue what that was. And I was flabbergasted. And
well, they're doing blood tests on people on the West Coast, and they've got increased radiation isotopes in their blood. Very serious situation. I mean, this is happening.
Yeah, and I had to literally sit there and explain to her, you know, how Fukushima came about with the earthquake and all that stuff. And I said, you need to download Drudge Report, and you need to go to Infowars.com and read all you can and get healthy and stay healthy. The very next day, she came running at me through the store, and she's like, I cannot believe how effed up the world is. And, you know, so I try and do all I can to spread the word.
Well, sure. I mean, that was the issue with the lady. She just woke up a few months ago, and she says no one's going to wake up. It doesn't happen right away. It's like Force 10 from Navarone, when they, which is based on a composite of true stories, where they blow up the dam and it doesn't crack and fall apart right away. It takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You got to keep firing on the enemy. They will go down.
Yeah, my husband and I had many of fights. I would fight him tooth and nail. Why are you listening to this? I don't understand why you have to listen to this. Why are you making me listen to this? And then one day it just clicked. Oh, my God.
You know, I didn't realize. I got to jump. Great points. David, you only got 30 seconds. I apologize. I didn't see you were calling from South America. Go ahead. You got 30. Take us out.
Okay. You know, I had an epiphany as more and more police ignore the Supreme Court regarding the legality of recording police. They beat up journalists and regular citizens and arrest them for contempt of cop, basically. Now, there's going to be a trend, and this is going to start to be more than a daily event. Mainstream media are really going to start to get into reporting it, but it's not going to be for any noble reason. It will be to sell the idea of having your smartphone automatically record any interaction with the police.
That's right. They're already selling that. Great idea. You're right. Let the computers take over. That's the plan. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now